Siyanamkela kwi-inkqubo yethu i-VOB. We are coming to you live from eGqeberha. Igama lam nguPercy M. Lamani. Tonight I am having two guests. The DA member in the legislature, Mr. Yusuf Kassim, will be talking about safety and security related matters. And Dr. Joshua Ndlela, who is a counseling psychologist at UNISA, will be talking about mental health related issues with him in preparation for the festive season of 2024. But for now, allow me to welcome my guest, Mr. Yusuf Kassim. As I have said, that he is the member of the Democratic Alliance, and he's also a member of the Eastern Cape Province Legislature. Mr. Kassim, good evening and welcome to VOB Voice of the Bay.
Good evening, Percy, and good evening to your viewers this evening.
Mr. Kassim, as you know that our province, the Eastern Cape, is facing massive crisis due to the safety and security of tourists. I stress, of tourists being threatened by the criminals. This week, or earlier this week, you and the DA leader, who is also a Minister of Agriculture, Mr. John Steenhuisen, you have launched a 5-plan for the Easter, in fact, not for the Easter, or for the festive season of 2024, especially for the beachfront here in Nelson Mandela Bay. Tell us more about your plan for the beachfront here in the Nelson Mandela Bay.
Thank you very much, Percy. You are correct. John Steenhuisen, the federal leader of the DA, joined us at the Yacht Club in Summerstrand on Monday morning. And that particular facility, 2 years ago, when Retief Odendaal was the mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay, used to host 40 officers as a control center that would patrol and would monitor the beachfront promenade area. As you know, Percy, this is not only an area that is enjoyed by tourists, it is also enjoyed by our own residents from across Nelson Mandela Bay and indeed from across the Eastern Cape. During the festive season, it is packed. And we need sufficient boots on the ground, we need sufficient technology, and we need the right kind of strategy and enforcement in order to ensure that we can reassure all visitors, whether from within the Bay, the province, or from outside of our province, those that are coming to visit us. And unfortunately, right now, we have been informed by those in the tourism sector that bookings for this festive season, which impacts on jobs and many related industries that benefit from those that visit our city, have not been at the same levels as before. And in fact, because
so there is a decline.
There's a decline, but more than that, people have started to cancel their visits to our province. And there's a number of reasons for this. Of course, it has been reported in the media, tourists who have been kidnapped as part of the extortion crisis that we are facing, and that there isn't the kind of action being taken by our law enforcement to reassure those in the industry. So we felt it was very important that John Steenhuisen, who of course is our most senior member of government in the government of national unity, prioritizes this issue. And John visited us on the beachfront. He interacted with those in the tourism and security sector. There's some excellent work being done by the Neighbourhood Watch, Summerstrand Neighbourhood Watch members, by the ward councillor Sean Tappen, who used to be the chairperson of the Neighbourhood Watch before he was elected as the ward councillor. And there's been a number of issues that they are fighting for.
Okay, fine. Yusuf, What would you like this municipality to focus on according to your plan?
So step one is there needs to be Metro Police, traffic services, SAPS, private security, and neighborhood watch stakeholders, a joint operational plan for the festive season. This has happened in the past, as I've mentioned, when we had officers stationed there. They've now been removed. That facility is no longer functional. So we would like that joint operation.
It is no longer functional.
It is no longer functional.
Why?
Because after Mayor Odendaal was removed as the mayor, those officers were reintegrated back into the traffic services. So that operational center that used to function at that point was disbanded. And we've seen an increase in incidences across.
Did they give you the reason?
No, they have just been reintegrated. They've just said, we need these officers, we are going to reintegrate them into the traffic services. So we are calling for
But before that joint venture was working very well.
It was starting to make progress. It's not enough, but it was starting to make progress. Because one of the second thing that I want to mention that we have asked John to take up with the Minister of Police and with the Minister of Tourism is that we need a dedicated South African Police Service unit that is focused on tourism protection so that we can reassure the sector. We are talking about jobs, Boet Percy. If people does not see action taking place in our province by law enforcement and local government and various authorities, that is when they lose confidence in our sector. So we've called on our federal leader, John Steenhuisen, who, as you've mentioned, is also a minister in this government, to engage with his cabinet colleagues. We urgently require a beachfront protection unit, and we need a provincial tourism task team that is going to work hand in hand with tourism operators in order to restore confidence into the sector. Thirdly, the third thing that we are calling for is for the installation of CCTV cameras across these hotspots, tourism hotspots in our city, and for the lighting. That is something that is within local government control, the lighting along the beachfront to be protected. In fact, the stakeholders from civil society have had to install solar lighting from out of their own pockets. So the function of the municipality is being done by civil society stakeholders as we speak. And therefore, that is one of the things that we have called upon. And of course, cooperation between private security together with the South African Police Service and local law enforcement in crime prevention operations along these hotspots. And the last thing that I want to mention that we believe will make a difference is a 24 hours Metro Police satellite station based on our beachfront here in Gqeberha, so that they can focus specifically on patrolling these areas and securing these areas.
That is Mr. Yusuf Kasim, who is a Democratic Alliance member in the legislature. He is outlining their plan or their proposed plan for festive season in protection of the tourists here in the Nelson Mandela, specifically at the beachfront. Someone would ask a question, why beachfront? Because most of the action, a serious one, where people are being killed by the criminals, is taking place in the townships. But why the beachfronts?
So these issues are not mutually exclusive. It's not one or the other. If you followed my challenge to MEC Ngata last week in the Taking Legislature to the People that was held in Dispatch, we challenged him and MEC Mvoko in the adjustment budget process to ensure community safety in the province, which is under budgeted. We only spend 0.15% of the provincial budget on community safety.
Let's leave it there.
To be racked up.
We will go for a commercial break, and then I will afford you more time to elaborate on what you want to say. Sinamkele kwakho kwi-inkqubo yethu i-VOB Voice of the Bay. Good evening once again and welcome to your talk show that is your VOB with myself, Percy M. I am still with Honorable Yusuf Kassim of the Democratic Alliance at the legislature. We are talking about the proposed 5-point plan of the Democratic Alliance on safety and security during the festive season of 2024. Once again, welcome, Mr. Kassim.
Thank you very much.
I am still repeating my question. Why not the townships, but the beachfront at Summerstrand?
As I was saying, good person, these issues are not mutually exclusive. They are not. It's not one or the other. Last week in the Taking Legislature to the People, which was in dispatch, I challenged MEC Ngata and MEC Mvoku, who is our MEC for Finance in the province, to fund the community safety budget of our province, which is not being funded currently. Right now, we only spend 144 million rand on community safety. It's 0.15% of the provincial budget. So we don't have the resources to assist in the fight against crime. Even though SAPS is a national competency, provinces like the Western Cape are spending more than 5 times what we are spending on community safety to ensure in communities they can support the efforts of SAPS with crime-fighting technologies and with additional boots on the ground, K9 units and etc. So it's not one or the other. This particular issue that we are driving around the festive season is built onto that. So we are approaching the festive season. It's about jobs because if, as I've mentioned earlier, tourists are cancelling their trips to our province and to our city, it means less money is coming into our province and our city.
But Mr. Honorable Kassim.
Yes, and one last point that I want to make. I don't reside in the beachfront. I reside in the northern areas. But the beachfront is a public asset. My own daughters every week are asking me, Daddy, can you take me to go and ride bicycle on the beachfront? You understand? Then I want to take them there. I want them to be safe. There are residents from all parts of the metro that want to enjoy the beachfront, but to do so safely. Because when you have an influx of visitors in a tourism hotspot during the festive season, we require sufficient operational capacity and law enforcement capacity in order to secure and protect our people. That is the point that we're making.
But someone would say, Mr. Kassim, the beachfront falls under the wards of the Democratic Alliance. So you want the municipality to spend more money on safety and security measures on wards or in wards that are led by Democratic Alliance. Someone would say...
I mean, we don't really care.
What would be your response?
We don't really care whether it is a ward led by the DA or by the ANC. All wards need to be attended to. When the DA was in charge of this municipality in coalition, there was service delivery and intervention in ANC wards and DA wards. To such an extent that the residents in KwaNobuhle, in Area 11, were protesting that they want Retief Odendaal to remain as a mayor because he was the first mayor to go there and attend to their issues. The beachfront is a public asset. I don't reside in that ward.
I agree with you,
but
Mr.
my own
Kassim.
children want me to take them there to enjoy
Mr. Kassim,
the beachfront.
I agree with you. But someone would say these wards are led by the Democratic Alliance. That is why you are coming up with this five-point plan. And yet my question, how would you convince someone who comes with that?
I would say to that person that we have a responsibility to fight for the security of all of our people. And that even though Ward 2 might be under a DA councillor, that councillor is trying his best. He was the chairperson of the Summerstrand Neighbourhood Watch. Sean Tappen is fighting for a secure beachfront area. That it is not only the residents of Ward 2 that enjoy the beachfront promenade. It is residents of all 60 wards of Nelson Mandela Bay who are welcome and who every single year, particularly during the festive season, when we have some time to take our families, go and enjoy our beautiful beachfront. And therefore, it's not only about the residents of Ward 2, it's about the residents of all 60 wards of Nelson Mandela Bay.
Did you extend your invitation to the safety and security, for instance, of Nelson Mandela, which is led by Stag Mitchell?
Stag Mitchell is not interested. And I'll explain to you why I say that. Councillors Jason Grobler, who is our spokesperson on safety and security in Nelson Mandela Bay, have been fighting for a number of safety initiatives. And the MMC of Safety and Security have not been responsive on those issues. And furthermore, even when the legislature came to Nelson Mandela Bay, I'm a member of the Community Safety Committee of the legislature, Stag Mitchell was not present for any of our visits here. So Stag Mitchell is not really, whether or not he's going to do his job or not, we're beyond that now. We have said to our leader, John Steenhuisen, John, we are requesting you to engage with the Minister of Police, Minister Mchunu, as well as the Minister of Tourism, so that we can elevate this issue as a matter of priority. We require a SAPS protection unit on the beachfront, working with other stakeholders, take the lead in this respect, and we are requesting that a tourism task force for the province, not just for the beachfront on Nelson Mandela Bay, but now we are talking about the entire province, and we've seen the massacres that are taking place in the east of our province, which have just happened now, last night, that we have a tourism task force for the province that is working on all of these areas across the province, because they are all being affected, and their jobs, in addition to lives being at stake, their livelihoods, jobs that are at stake because of the cancellation of bookings that are taking place in our province.
So, your plan, definitely it's a good one, but without the involvement of the municipality, how is it going to starting to work for us as the residents?
So South African Police Service doesn't fall under the municipality.
I know.
It falls under the national government. So that's why I'm saying there are other spheres of government here that needs to play a role. Present on Monday was our caucus leader here in Nelson Mandela Bay, Councillor Rano Kaiser. He was present at our event on Monday morning with John Steenhuisen. Also present was Councillor Jason Grobler, who is our spokesperson in that committee in the municipality, and Councillor John Best, who is the former MMC of Safety here in Nelson Mandela Bay, and of course the ward councillor, Councillor Sean Tappen, who has his roots in the safety and security sector.
Okay.
And therefore they will be driving some of these issues, as they have been doing, driving some of these issues to ensure that the local government also comes to the party in terms of their intervention from what it is that we are advocating for.
So you are going to execute this with or without the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality?
We are calling on all three spheres of government to play their role.
You have said...
Yes. No, I'm saying we are calling on all three spheres of government to play their role, but we have requested, that's why it was important for John to be there. John could have gone to anywhere whilst he's here. It was important for John, as our federal leader, our most senior member in cabinet, to come here so that he can engage, working together with his cabinet colleagues in elevating this issue by the Minister of Police and the Minister of Tourism.
I am afraid we are running out of time. This is what I want to know from you. This 5-point plan is going to take place with or without Stag Mitchell, who is the political head of safety and security in the Mandela.
This 5-point plan does not only concern Stag Mitchell. That's the point that I'm making.
He's the one who is representing the Mandela on safety and security related matters.
Is he really doing that?
But as we have said, he didn't show any interest. So you are moving on with or without him.
We have asked for national intervention in this respect.
So the plan is going ahead.
We are going to await feedback from our minister, who is engaging with his colleagues in the National Cabinet. We have also engaged with Ian Cameron, who is the chairperson of the Police Portfolio Committee in Parliament.
Yeah.
in order to elevate this issue? What we are
Let's
doing
leave
here,
it there for
Butpesi,
now
is we
and
are-
wait for the response at the national level. But thank you very much for honoring this important interview on safety and security related matters in preparation for the festive season. Honorable Yosef Kassim.
Thank you very much, Butpesi. And I would plead with you, because I appreciate this opportunity, that you put Stag Mitchell in the seat and ask him, what is your plan for securing the festive season? I would be interested to know that, like every other resident of the city. I'm not sure if he has one.
I will try my best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sibuyile kakhona sinamkela kwinkqubo yethu iVOB Voice of the Bay. Now we are joined by Dr. Bongani Joshua Ndlela, who is a student counseling psychologist at UNISA. We'll be talking about, or he will be talking about the issue of spending during the festive season that might result in mental health related sickness. But he is here with me. He is going to elaborate. As we know that there are a number of things or numerous things that are taking place during the festive season. People are sending their kids to the mountain, Yoluso. Others are celebrating their birthdays. Families are doing a lot of things. Others are going for holidays. At the end of the day, money will be spent, and yet come 2025 January, the number of things that we are expected again to do for our families, like paying school funds and preparation or buying uniforms for our kids. Dr. Joshua Ndlela, let's welcome you. This is a very interesting subject that we will be talking about this evening. As I have said, Doc, or explained in my introduction, this is a challenging time.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain or add some contributory factors around this subject for tonight?
Okay. Thank you so much, Butpesi, for having us on your studio with regards to the very important matter of the festive season. As you've just said, there's quite a lot that is happening. Kuyoluso, ipati,
Weddings.
weddings, so many things that are happening. And others, they will say it's a season of togetherness. It's a season where people are coming together. Others are coming from out of town.
Oh, yes.
They are meeting back home. Mninzi umntu. And it's a season where we are kind of manufacturing new memories as families. I must also add, Dona Butpesi, as much as it's a joyous time season, kwabanye abantu it's not. It's a time of loneliness and grief. For an example, Butpesi, other people at this time, they will be remembering abantu babo last year in 2023, whom they spent time with, but now in 2024, there are no more. Others, they do not have families. Others will be alone or lonely, because if families, ezinye, they are scattered due to different reasons of family matters. So as much as on this side, it's a time where we manufacture memories, but on this other side, it reminds us of people whom we were with in the previous years at this time of the year. Abanye Butpesi, they are now unemployed. They used to do this and that, trying to create memories using finances, but today they are unemployed. And when people are coming together. We make use of finances. We make use of imali. And xana ke ngokuzibhaqa wena, you are unable to use imali because akunayo, because you are unemployed. That can actually feed into anxiety or depression. Uzibhaqa wena but base ufeelisha lonely, withdraw from other people, because awufani kunye nabanye abantu who are able to do things ebekwazi ukuzenza in the previous years. So it's a mixture of feelings during this time. Ibalulekile but person into yokuba as much as we will be spending money to gift, ulwaluko, weddings, and that, there are high expectations from people. We should be very careful, but basic.
High expectations
High expectations
from outside.
from the outsiders. People who do not know whether you have resources to spend or not, but people are expecting that uzafana kunye nabanye abantu. Uzibhaqe butbesi, ufuna uthi succumb to those high expectations from other people. Eli xesha butbesi lixesha lento kuba everyone should spend according to their limit. Do not spend beyond your resources that you don't have in the name of wanting to please these expectations. Loo nto ingalithishela butbesi when ixesha le-festive lidlulile ushiyeke ulonely, because you cannot actually deal kunye no day-to-day of living. Festive will be no more, the reality will be in front of you. Uzibhaqe butbesi depressed because ubomi ngokubuthi I must continue with the new year of 2025.
Before you give us some advice, Doc, ndingazinceda njani, Doc? Ngoba ke ixesha likaDisemba lixesha le-specials.
Yeah,
Everybody want to buy.
yeah,
Everybody needs those specials. Kwakusithiwa kudala imititilizo. Imititilizo.
Yeah.
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 How can I control myself in terms of spending money on daily basis?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, yeah. The reality, Butbesi, is that we need to be true to ourselves. We really need not to succumb to societal expectations. We need to make plans before festive comes. You can't think about what you want to spend on now when you did not make any plans. The reality says, if you do not have resources, do not just go and make loans because Butbesi ufuna ufana kunye nabanye abantu when you did not plan for this time of the year. The reality is, I do not have money, I do not have resources, and I shall live with the limited resources that I am being provided by my own family or by my own friends. But I should guard against wanting to meet social expectations in the name of ukufuna ufana kunye nabanye abantu.
Doc, before we go for a commercial ad break, that pressure, it also comes within your family, your immediate family.
Yes.
How can I deal with that situation?
Yeah. This is a very sensitive and thorny issue with Besi when sibachazela families or other people telling their families that I do not have into ethile. I do not have into ethile. Akukho nto wrong with Besi to say I don't have something to your family. You don't have to be obligated to make sure that you are able to resource your family when you do not have resources. As family members, let's not even start with the family members. As you've just said, start from within yourself. Be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Ukuti andinayo lendo families that are looking for from me. Andinayo. And but basically, I'm not going to succumb to indoba funeke ndiplease my own family members ukuze babe right bona when the resources are not there. you need to speak up. You need to tell them about your own realities. You also need to feel okay to say, I don't have something when the family members are looking for your assistance. If there are no resources, where are you going to get the resources? Are you expecting me, to go and make loans because I need to make sure that I am supporting my family? It shouldn't be like that.
Let's go, Doc, for a commercial break. And then we will continue with this interesting subject. Enkosi ngohlala kunye nathi ku channel 260 on DSTV. Rhoqo ke ngolwezithathu ufumana inkqubo current affairs apha kwi Mpuma Kapa TV from 7 up until 8 o'clock. Kulo sana ngena ngaleli thuba siyakwamkela endikunye naye nguDr Joshua Ndlela, student counseling psychologist pa University of South Africa, ngamafuphi bathi UNISA. Doc, interesting subject that we are talking about. Doc, people feel pressure during the festive season, especially the parents who are raising their kids. One of the things our kid admire so much is a cell phone. They want to upgrade each and every December.
Yeah.
And they want expensive phones. Yeah. And yet the parents feel that pressure.
Yeah.
And yet they even succumb, knowing that they are putting them under a lot of financial stress at the end of the day. How would you assist such parents that raise these kids alone?
Yeah.
And yet in December, they don't feel happiness because of the pressure that is exerted by their kids to them.
Yeah. It's not easy, Putbesi, as a parent, especially the single parents, when Putbesi, where it is expected by their kids to give them something at the end of the year, especially cell phone. I think, Putbesi, it is important as a parent to have constant conversation with our children concerning the financial muscle or stability in the household. The children, they need to be aware, Putbesi, that this is how things are run in the house. We also, as the parents, we need to be firm, Putbesi, as parents to our kids. We must also remember, Putbesi, these pressures that the kids basnikazona sometimes are coming from outside, as Chomini, from schools, from outside social media, that this so-and-so has this one phone, which is the new in the market. Oksalayo Putbesi, a person who's supposed to make sure that kids survive is that parent. If the parents, Putbesi, we do not encourage the culture of talking about finances in the household, not during December only or during the festive period, throughout the year, we really need to have that kind of a bond with our children and talk about any issues that are affecting the household yethu, Putbesi, maphathelana kunye neze finances, because akakho umntana, Putbesi, ongayifuniyo into enhle efana kunye ne cellphone okanye iteki efana kunye nekabani wasenexto. Akakho umntana ongafuniyo ukufana kunye nomnye umntana. However, Putbesi, xana singanawukwazi ukuthetha about issues that are affecting the running of the day-to-day as parents, abantwana bazoba aware, Putbesi, of the challenges that you are experiencing as a parent. So ibalulekile, Putbesi, that constant communication, not only during this time of the year, throughout the year, the firmness of the parents is important, not during the festive, throughout the year. This should be the culture of the family, Putbesi, to have an open communication about any other things that will affect the day-to-day running in the household. It can be mitigated, Putbesi. It can be governed kakuhle only if, Putbesi, siyabaqhelisa abantwana ukuthetha ngezinto ezibalulukileyo ezibangela noba sithi sirane kakuhle izinto zasemakhaya.
Again, Doc, is it the right time to do some renovations in our homes during festive season?
Yeah.
Because that project alone, it costs a lot of money.
Only if, Putbesi, it was prepared.
Only if it was prepared.
Only if it was prepared. Putbesi, there is nothing that we can do with finances, whether at the beginning, middle, of the end of the year, engekhange ipreparishwe. If finances, Putbesi, they make us to live. If finances, they can cause stress, depression, if we cannot do it, work with finances wisely. Any time of the year, we can do anything during the year, Putbesi, anytime. Only if, Putbesi, izinto ziyaplanwa on time. They can be done. And we all know, Putbesi, that we've grown up in informal settlement where, Putbesi, during this time of the year, we'll do a painting of the house, sifake carpet ezintsha, kuthengwa iTV nantoni kuyabhonasa nobhonaswa, so abantu bafeelisha into yoba they have money to buy all of these things. Unfortunately, Putbesi, amaxesha atshintshile. Therefore, we cannot be reckless when it comes using finances any time of the year, especially during the festive period where we use lot of money unnecessarily. Sometimes that could actually feed into ukuba, Putbesi, ungakwazi uqhubekeka kakuhle, ungena une-stress unyaka olandelayo. It can be done, but it needs to be planned.
Here is the money. What should I do with this money? How to prioritize ngale mali? Zindoni izinto zam ekufuneka ndizibeke kuqala phambi kokuba ndisebenzisele mali?
You know, people and families, they differ, Putbesi, on their needs in the family. They differ. And even the priorities will surely differ. I think ibalulekile, Putbesi, to prioritize according to the needs of the family, the needs of the children, the needs of the immediate and the extended families, especially during this time of the year. You prioritize. Putbesi, we should not make a mistake just to utilize money because I have money in my bank or at the back of my pocket. We should not do that. We should resist that, because if festive will pass, the reality will set in January, where your child and myself will be going back to work. We will need this money, lena siyisebenzisileyo, reckless during the time of the festive. Let's prioritize according to the needs of the families.
There are those who normally say life is too short. Mandizivise kamnandi. Ndimosebenzayo vukayo. What is your advice to them?
Yeah. Yes, I agree with them, Putbesi. I agree with them. You work very hard, you need to spoil yourself. You need to reward yourself. There's nothing wrong to reward yourself. But Putbesi, in the midst of wanting to reward yourself, think about tomorrow. Today, but tomorrow there's a new day. You are expected to fund that new day. You are expected to utilize money for bus fare, for petrol, for lunch, for this and that. So today, you are more than welcome to reward yourself. And in Londo, Putbesi, when you are working hard in the family, who's reward. Not only, Putbesi, ufilisha rongo ukuba rewarded. Uncediswa na ifamily yakho to reward yourself, because you are actually also working for our families. They also need to appreciate you into oyenzayo kubo nalapha around us. There's nothing wrong, Butpesi, to reward oneself. Into wrong, Butpesi, it is when you work hard and then you are not appreciated by any of the people that you were working hard for. You ought to be appreciated. You ought now, Butpesi, uzivise kamnandi.
Life is too short.
Life is too short, Butpesi. We also need to be realistic in the sense that, Butpesi, ebumnandini, there's still tomorrow.
For the last time, Doc, we will go for a commercial ad break, and then when we return from the ad break, we will talk about the black tax. We want you to explain what is a black tax within a family. Masive clean. Sizobuya siqhube nogqirha. Sibuyile kakhona evenkleni sesiqola ke siqokumbela ixesha elichanekileyo imizuzu ilishumi phambi kwentsimbi yesibhozo kwinkqubo iVoice of the Bay, VOB, with myself, Percy M. Allow me for the last time to welcome Dr. Joshua Ndlela. Doc, again, good evening.
Thank you so much for passing.
Let's talk about the black tax. In your view, what is this term, black tax?
Yeah, it's a very good question and a thorny issue, but especially amongst us black people who are coming from informal settlements in the area of Nelson Mandela Bay. Even now, in our black areas. But basically, black tax, in my understanding, it is an informal term that is used that speaks about the form of support that we are giving to families zethu kanye kubantu bethu. It's a support that is there elindelekileyo ngakumbi kubantu abamnyama. You'll notice when you speak about black tax, there are two words there. Black, which can actually represent black people. That doesn't cut across to all other races. Black. Then you have the tax, the word tax. Once you speak about the word tax, to me, from the economic point of view, you speak about obligations. Butpesi, kwa SARS, you are obligated to pay tax. You are obligated to pay VAT. Unyanzelekile. Awucengwa kufuna ukuyenzile lonto. So once you say black tax, it's like it's a form of support onyanzelekileyo into kuba funeke uyenzile to your family, the immediate family, and to the extended. And that's where the problem lies. But basically, Sirezwa knowingly very well about Ubuntu concept. Ubuntu concept basically speaks about sharing what you have with those who do not have, or those who do not afford to do into ezithile. But akunyanzelwa, it's not obligated. Into babhutbesi kufuneke ndisupporte utata, umama, usister, ubhuti, or any other people. I am not obligated to do that. Ingxaki bhutbesi iqala kula obligation. Lena bhutbesi into kuba bade abantu ozalwa kunye nabo bathi ubhuti kufuneke eyikhuphile le mali monthly, wanayo kanayo makayoyifuna.
Asolala singatyanga.
Asolala singatyanga, usiqhelisile laa nto. Then the bhutbesi ayibikho right ke ngola hlobo. Ngoba bhutbesi uyamnyanzela umntu noxa yena ezibhaqa esekonini. Ngoku bhutbesi ayothatha amatyala, ayokwenza amatyala, so that anga-disappointi abantu bakokwabo, because unyanzeliwe and ufilise nyanzelekile okanye uza disappointa abanye abantu. Abanye abantu bhutbesi, they get as far as babe ostracized butbesi because of akasayenzi lando wayeyiqhele ukuyenza. Because of butbesi sizibhaqe sifilisha obligated kwinto butbesi ebekumele intoba ndiyazenzela ngexesha endinako ngalo. So the black tax part butbesi usifilisha kabuhlungu kwinto ethi ngelinye ixesha butbesi you don't even want to go back home because you know as soon as you get home kulindelekile intoba funeke wenze igrosali utshintshe into ethile wenze oku noku noku yana. Aphele abantu butbesi bengasabuyeli emakhayeni abo bebaleka lo mnyanzelo okanye enganazo zi-resources okanye akafuni nokutsho kuni ukuba andinazo zi-resources aphele hlalela ke ngubhutbesi kuloo ndawo yakhe nina nishale nimthuka laa mntu nisithi uphakamile oko wafunda akasihoyanga. Butbesi akukho nto irongo ukusapotana as black families.
Let's talk about the black tax and marriage. Where does it put my marriage?
Yeah. Ndiyacinga butbesi when from my understanding when you get married there are two people meeting for the sake of this unit called marital unit. Therefore butbesi the two are supposed butbesi to create their own design of doing things. Maphathelana nezezimali.
The reason why I'm asking this question,
Yes.
the black tax and marriage, ever since ubhuti wachata, asafumani sizifumana manqapha imfanelo zethu kuye. Ever since usisi wachata, asazifumani sizifumana manqapha imfanelo zethu kuthi ebesiqhela uzifumana.
Ibhlungu ke lonto leyo butbesi into yokuthwalisa iburden omnye umntana womntu butbesi ayikho right lonto. Into right butbesi aba bantu bayathandana bobabini, they have created their own design of marriage. Nakwi-finances butbesi imeko ithi utshatile butbesi akwazi butbesi ukuthi sisacrifice ubumnandi bale marriage because of sifuna ukuvisa ifamily yasekhaya okanye ifamily yakokwenu buphela ubumnandi apha kule marriage as a result of into bafuneke sicengana kunye neza relationship uphele lo wethu umtshato butbesi ngenxa yento yoba ungafuni ukuthukwa. Into ebalulekileyo butbesi nee-families they need to understand into yokuba umtshato ngowabantu ababini. Ukuba ngaba butbesi kufuneke sisapotile kokwenu mayibe yinto yabantu abayi-two abadecidela for ifamily yakokwenu nefamily yasekhaya. Not butbesi ibe sisinyanzelo into yokuba naxana abantu betshatile kuthathwe imali yomtshato kuyolungiswa kokwenu in the expense of itrabble zalapha endlini.
Before we wrap it up, Doc, how does all this affect my mental health?
Butbesi, as soon as butbesi, we subject ourselves to that thing, black tax, the obligation part. Butbesi, when I cannot afford you or resource you, butbesi, I will be getting a backlash from our families. You know what I'm going to do, butbesi? I'll be stressed. I will withdraw. Ndizawuxabana apha endlini and my adjustment problems will arise as a result of into yokuba ndinyanzelekile into yokuba funeke ndisapote elsewhere when I cannot. Butbesi abantu abaninzi bazibhaqa bekwi-depression because butbesi baphoxe abantu bakokwabo because they were unable to afford later on in life ngoba ba-obligated babe bengakwazi ukuresource. Abanye abaninzi butbesi baphila a stressful life unnecessarily because we want to please others in the name of our own health or mental health. There is no way butbesi when I work hard as a person kufuneke ndinyanzelisiwe into yokuba mafuneke ndiyosapota endaweni ethile ngesinyanzelo. This should come from my own heart and ubuntu to share whatever that I have, Putpesi, without any obligation. Otherwise, Putpesi, sizawuzibhaqa Putpesi, si-trapped with depression, with stress, ezipilisini, singafuni udibana nee-families zethu. Iyasibulala ke into yokungadibani kunye nee-families zethu. Ayikho right Putpesi ukuba ungadibani kunye nefamily yakho ngenxa ubaleka into ye-black tax. Iyasibulala loo nto. Into ebalulekileyo Putpesi, everyone should understand that ubomi buyajika and the reality changes as the time goes. Therefore, Putpesi, I must guard my mental health. I must guard how I feel when I do things during the festive period and not be subjected to the social expectation or the family expectation in that manner, seeing that imeko yam ye mental health ibe ibulaleka ngelo xesha.
Do you have any experience as a psychologist on these matters that we spoke about?
I have many clients, Putpesi, even from the university at UNISA, students, as well as outside UNISA, where abantwana bathi Putpesi, I cannot go back home because andinayo. Abanye abantu ifamily zam, they don't even know that I am not working anymore. I'm not working, I'm just studying, doc. But the only thing that they expect from me is to give them something. Others, Putpesi, in my institution, my other clients would actually use the NSFAS funding, Putpesi, to make sure that they are giving to their household. Because, Putpesi, befilisha benyanzelekile, ibe imali yabo yokufunda and to take care for themselves. So it does happen. Ayenze kubantwana besikolo, yenzeka nakwi-adults, Putpesi. Some families, Putpesi, are broken as a result of in their black tax. Abantu Putpesi abasavani ngenxa yento yesinyanzelo xa kufuneke benikezele londo at the end of the month. Kuphela kungavani Putpesi. So yinto ekhoyo lena Putpesi. Sometimes sihlala phansi kwayo ngoba asifuni uthetha ngezi zinto in our families, ngoba asifuni ukhangeleka singabantu abarongo in our families. Ibe isisitya lento irongo yendo ye black tax. I want to say, Putpesi, during this festive period, guard your mental health, guard your expectation, share the load. Make sure, Putpesi, you say no when you cannot give anyone, so that Putpesi, ube real with yourself and take care of your mental health.
Dr. Joshua Ndlela, student counseling psychologist from UNISA. Wow. Nkosi kakhulu doc ngokusixhobisa silungiselele ixesha lokuphela konyaka lunolonwabo phakathi.
Yes.
Nkosi siyabulela Dr. Joshua Ndlela.
Thank you so much, Putpesi, nalapha ku Voice of the Bay.
Ngiqinisekile nawe apha ekhaya mphulaphuli uzuze elikhulu kakhulu kwinkqubo yethu yosuku lanamhlanje. Nkosi kakhulu ngokuba kunye nathi from 7 up until 8 o'clock. Igama lam ngumzukisi Percival Lamani uPercy M. Masibuye sibonane ke kwakho kusuku langomso kwinkqubela FM kwi-KQFM talk show from 6 up until 9 o'clock. Khumule ke ngomso uMasipala Tombaxa une-council meeting nalapho kulindeleke khona into yokuba kubekho usodolophu omtsha. Mpuma Kapa TV yakube ilapho ndiqinisekile lawuthi litshonela ngomso usazi into yokuba ziyangaphi na okanye zithini na indaba. Kodwa ke masiyeke apho busuku benzolo. Adios amigos, God bless.